There we go. There we go. Well, I'm back now. What's up, y'all? What's up? We live. We live. Appreciate that. Good looking. Good looking. Good looking. All right. So got a special guest. Her name is Brittany. Been rocking with her for a second. She's dope. I love her vibe. I wanted to bring her on because she's gonna break down exactly how to get our credit right. You know, my credit ain't right. I ain't gonna lie to you. Then she gonna show me or show us and break down the process of taxes. So I'm about to bring her on. You know, I got my do-rag on. So let's go ahead and bring her into here. Let's go. What's up with it, Big Money? What's going on, Big Time?
What's up? What's up? You got your do-rag on, I got my bonnet on.
Hey, you know, we got to match. We got to match, you know what I'm saying? Match the vibe. So, all right,
Mm-hmm.
Brittany. So what I'm finna do, this is like your floor. I'm gonna ask you a couple questions and things like that. So we can go ahead and get into it. You feel me?
Okay.
All right, so here's what I want to go ahead and do. I want to go ahead and break the ice. So, um, let's go ahead and get into it. So you do taxes. So okay, what it is like? What do you do?
So I do all things financial. I consider myself a financial strategist, and a coach because I love to teach. Teaching is my thing. So even if you're a client, even if you are a mentee, you are something, education is very big for me. And a coach.
Okay, I see you out here. So what got you started into get into like the financial industry, and things like that? Like, why do you want to? What got you started, and why you want to help people, with that?
I was tricked. I was tricked by financial aid when I went to college as a fresh 18-year-old, signing up for Pell Grants, and even though the Pell Grants are yours to keep, but they didn't really fully explain the severity of what a student loan was and how it was going to affect you. So I learned the hard way, trying to get a car, trying to get things in my name, and it was just like, no, why? What's the problem? I didn't understand why I was getting denied for things. And
Mm,
so I started asking questions, and then it led me into credit repair. And I went to Lexington Law Firm. You know, I'm not trying to slander them or nothing. This is no shade. See the results, or I really didn't understand the process. I wasn't given that free ground to really understand what was going on. I just knew that credit was important, and I Googled like everybody else how to fix your credit, and that's just how I got to it. But then I didn't really become successful initially 9 years ago when I started. Because it was just something for being a business owner, or running a business or doing anything outside of a 9 to 5. So that led me into tax prep. And this was around COVID. And COVID just really put everybody into that super high ambition. And so that led me to more greatness. Of course, it started off the same as credit. I had a mentor that didn't quite out for me. But instead of giving time, I decided to keep going. And keep going, I did. I met my now mentor, and she took me under her wing. And she taught me everything about taxes. And then she just really gave me to be successful. So I just wanted to take that and pour that back into people. So, pick credit repair back up. I extended it to business credit, business funding, business structuring, but they all work together. They all work as one well machine. So you can have ease, but if you have them all working together, then you start to see that financial freedom that you're looking for.
oh shoot, that's crazy. So you said that you end up getting a mentor, right? So what are your things when it comes to like mentor? Like what is your thoughts like when it comes to mentor, especially in that financial space? Like how do you know it's like not a scam or anything like that?
It's- I can pretty much tell a lot of it comes from watching them for a while, kind of seeing what they do, how they operate, the kind of results they bring, what other people are saying about them. You can kind of tell if something is more so like a conversation that was had and they're like, just go make a post about me, or if it's something that somebody genuinely means. And just,
Uh-huh.
doing your own research. And so I did my own research on my now mentor, Rachel, and she was a very stand-up woman. She poured a lot into me, and she showed me like literally how to make everything work as a unit. And she's still showing me things to this day. Like, she continues to grow. She has mentors. I have a mentor. I have more, well, multiple, but having a mentor is very important because it's somebody that has done the things that you want to do and that have made the mistakes that you don't want to make. So it kind of like cuts your road in half, so you're not having to go through those um choppy waters that entrepreneurship often comes with, because it's really, it could yeah, it's gonna be one of those moments where you question a lot. I had to sit there and pause for it for a second, but it's one of those things where you really sit down and you say, what did I sign up for?
Yeah.
And so having that mentor, having that person that can be there with you to guide you, to, pour their life back into you, to get you back on the right track, to make sure that your mindset is growth, and you're not looking for negativity, you're looking for positives and everything, you're looking for the lesson and everything, to where you can, apply it to future scenarios where you're not feeling overwhelmed, where you're not feeling kind of let down by what's going on around you. You really want to lock in with yourself. So
Mm.
mentors, do get
Get
you a
you
mentor.
a mentor. All right, so check it out. Let's go ahead. Let's get some people some wins. You feel me? So here's what I want to do. Before I we help people do that real quick. What I want to know is like a little bit about like your backstory. Like if you're a mom, like can you tell me a little bit about like I guess how you got to the point that you got in right now?
Well, so I am a mom. My daughter is 5 years old, and she was a COVID baby. Like, she was born in the COVID era. And so it really just, I always been very ambitious. I really started off, like I said, 9 years ago, and I tried the credit repair thing. That did not work for me. So then I went to modeling because I'm a looker a little bit, and I'm thin. So I kind of fit the criteria for, what a model was back in, what, 20 whatever. We're not gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so
Model time.
I took that, and I ended up getting chosen for America's Next Top Model, out of over like 1,000 plus girls that were way more qualified than me. But one thing about me, I never believe that something is too big for me.
Oh wow.
So I go at things like all in, like head first, and that is why a lot of the things that I have done, a lot of people say, wow, you do so much. And it's like, because I don't let stuff stop me, I don't let stuff deter me. My main goal is financial freedom. And so, whatever I got to do to get there legally, me
We can slang a little
legitimately,
something. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
yeah, legally, that is what that I just made those ways. So, modeling, I had to had to do like $4,500 in donations so that I could, get my ticket and stuff, so I can get up there. It didn't quite work out like that. So I moved to Dallas 7 years ago. And so, I still wanted to do the whole model thing. And so I shot a couple of pilots for TV shows, and, did the whole trying to date celebrities and football players and NBA player
What?
thing. Tried to
Good
go
time.
the influencer, city girl route. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, the type of morals and values that I have, and I'm not saying that, people who are successful in that lane lack morals or values. But for me personally, in the route that I was going, my morals and values did not align with, where I saw myself going. So I had to take a step back from that. It was kind of a little disheartening once I realized that what I wanted wasn't what I needed. So
Mm.
like I took a step back, and that's when COVID hit. I had my daughter, everything was kind of like weighing on me. And I'm like, I just want to be rich. I just want to be successful. Like, I don't want to work. Like, I'm tired of getting up and clocking into somebody's job and they telling me what to do. They're paying me nothing and they want me to do everything for them. And it's like, I cannot keep doing that. And I don't want to be somebody who lets the world dim my light like that.
Mm.
So I had to take it into my own hands. And that's when it really clicked for me, like, okay, something has got to work, and it just got to. And so
Hmm.
tax prep, I didn't have a good first season. I did four people's taxes, and those were the people that lived in my house at the time. And like my mom, my dad, and stuff like that. And so I was sad about it, but I said I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna do it.
Oh
And
wow.
because I didn't give up, um of course I was blessed with the mentor that I have, and I really sat down and I learned everything. So each year was a new learning curve. So the first year with her was learning to actually prepare taxes the correct way, learning the tax code, how it's supposed to be utilized, because I didn't
Hmm.
learn anything. I just learned the data entry part of it, but not the art of taxes, because it's the art to it.
Really?
So I didn't learn that from my first mentor, but the now mentor that I have did tell me that, she did teach me that. So I increased my clientele that year, but it wasn't really like much, but it was a move forward. The next year I learned marketing,
Mm.
because I was one of those people that felt like if I just say it one time, then everybody just gonna flock to me, because I had already had like the previous cloud from doing the modeling and stuff. And so people used to watch me a lot, engage with me a lot and just wait for my next move. So I still had that mentality that if I post it, then it's a done deal. Like the world is just waiting for me to take a step and it's gonna follow me, which is true,
Yeah.
but you have to put in a little bit more work than that.
Little something,
So
something.
for me, yeah. So for me, marketing was my third year. That's what I did the most. I marketed. I went out. I went for the gusto. And by that year, she was like, "Okay, Brittany. So what we doing?
Mm.
We doing taxes. You increasing your clientele. You marketing hard. So when we getting our EFIN number, and when are we becoming an ERO and a service bureau? When are we doing all of that? When are we becoming our own boss?"
Mm.
You know what? I'm not gonna wait for you to tell me. If you don't have your LLC by Friday, you kicked off the team.
Oh, for real?
And that was
She
that.
like that?
That was that, because she
Oh, that's
believes
crazy.
in me so much, and she does not want me playing small, and she sees the hunger and the fire that I have behind me, and she knows how phenomenal I am as a person. So she's like, I do not want you to get in your own way. So okay,
Mm.
and I know this step is kind of backwards, but so like my fourth year, that's when well, my third year after the tax season, I became my own service bureau. So 2 years ago is when I officially opened my tax business.
Mm.
But I've been in the business for X amount of years. So
Mm.
um once I got my EFIN number, once I got my LLC and my insurance, and all of the particulars, making sure everything was properly structured. That's the key,
Yeah.
because you want to make sure you're properly structured. I just went in with my marketing, but it wasn't so much as me just showing up online. It was having them to engage with me, like learning the art of marketing. And that's
Mm.
something that I'm still learning today. But last year was really my first year just really giving it my all with marketing. And
Mm.
so I marketed, but I didn't market efficiently.
Okay.
Also my systems were not in place. So just kind of going down the trickle, it's I learned a whole lot by just going through it each year by year. So now
Mm.
here I am at year 5, and I'm getting my business fully automated. My marketing, I have invested in such a great person like yourself to bring me these tools that I need to get marketed correctly, to reach the people I need to reach, how I need to reach them,
Mm-hmm.
and to really build my brand and build my community behind me. So that's where I'm at in my personal journey. I
Oh
do
wow.
have several other businesses outside of my tax business, but for tax business, that is where I'm at with that. Now, credit repair, she running on auto anyway. Like she don't really got too much going on because a lot of that stuff, I use Dispute Fox. That is my disputing platform. So it
Oh,
allows
sweet.
everything to be automated already. So I don't have to worry about that part. And a lot of the stuff is just waiting on stuff to fall off. So that is my low maintenance baby, and I love her dearly. But a lot of it, Texas, she got me by the scalp. But once I get her automated,
Hmm.
it's gonna be a breeze. I'm welcoming the thousands of clients that will be having the Wealth Pro name come across their tax documents. And I'm just ready for my mentees to get out here and show out.
Okay, show out, show out, show out. Okay, hey, first of all, I
Mhm.
appreciate you for even talking about that backstory and the fact you're a mom and then you're managing these different businesses. I can only imagine what that's like for sure. Um, let's go ahead and drop some sauce. If you tune in to live, go ahead and drop some questions because we finna go on and get into it. All right, so you were talking about yeah, let's just go ahead and drop some sauce. So I'm gonna come at you from a perspective, if that's cool. Like
Okay.
I've been burned, I've been scammed with these tax people, with these credit people. I'm gonna come at you like that. All right, that's cool.
Okay.
You gotta get the questions. All right, so all right, so people say when it comes to taxes and or credit, they be getting scammed. Why you think that is?
I believe they get scammed because they look to the numbers or the dreams that they're selling and they buy it. A lot of people will say, "Oh, I can get you $10,000 back on your taxes," and if you know that you didn't work, why would it cross your mind to reach out to this person to figure out what imaginary sauce that they may possibly have that can get you $10,000 and you're not questioning it? And this is not a dig to anybody. This is more so of a, you have to think about things in retrospect, because I know
Mm,
you're going through things. I know you're struggling. I know tax time is something that you need, and you're waiting on it every year. You haven't been properly strategized with, like, you haven't met that right tax professional that's going to really lock you in and tell you, okay,
mm-hmm,
this is what you're doing, how you do it. You have to delay that gratification if you really want something that's gonna have longevity behind it.
mm,
Because if you take a rubber band and you just pop it, your little airplane ball might only go a half of a way. But if you take it and you pull it all the way back, it's going further, right? For a longer
right.
time. So that's what you want to think about. The longer you feel like things are being delayed or pulled back from you, that is gonna be the moment where you find yourself going further longer than you ever anticipated to. So take your mind away from the, oh, I want to get rich quick scheme, and really think about what it is you want to do, how you want to do it, and lock yourself into a strategy. Like literally.
Mm,
Even with credit repair, if people say, "Oh, I can get your credit cleaned off in 7 days. I can have you with a credit score." Are you not questioning how? There has to be some type of fraudulent behavior behind it. And if there is a real credit repair agent helping you, they will tell you by CROA, which is the Credit Reporting Organizations Act, we are not allowed to give false promises. That is literally what it is, a regulation for
really?
us as credit repair specialists. We are not supposed to go on here and say, "Oh, we can definitely have you cleaned up in 30 days." That's not true, because you don't know what the creditor is going to say. You don't know what the bureau is going to say. You don't know what's going to happen. So you give them like typical windows, and you tell them, "Hey, this is you, typically between 30 days and 45 days we'll see stuff fall off, but I won't make any guarantees to you, because I do not want you to get under the impression that I can really just take you from here to here, but
Mm-hmm.
it takes more than 2 days. We cannot do these get rich quick or get everything fixed quick. Like anything that's quick is going to leave just as quick. So you want
Mm,
something that's gonna last. You want something that's gonna be rock solid, your foundation to be solid. So that's why you need to look to someone who's knowledgeable in the area you need help in, and really let them educate you and put you on the right track so that you can go further in your life. So
mm.
yeah, that's how people get scammed right there. They just go for the dollar signs or the quick results and they're sold. And they don't ask how
Mm,
or why. They don't ask questions.
mm. Oh snap! And check this out. We got Mrs. Austin in the building. If you are an author or you're a writer and you need someone that can help guide you when it comes to publishing your book, um, taking that book, marketing your book. Oh, she does so much. Tap in with marketing with Sunshine or Mrs. Austin. Like she is the go-to person if you are a writer, an inspiring writer, and want to get there. All right, Miss Lady, let's dive into it. So we said that we're gonna be showing how to do a did I get that right? A 24-hour credit heart inquiry?
Card inquiry removal.
How, talk to me. Is that even possible? Like, I don't, how you do that?
That is possible. That is possible. So what you do, you call the credit bureau. So first we want to start at the basis of it. If you apply for a credit card, a car, a phone bill, anything that runs your credit, and you get denied for whatever reason, or you decide not to open an account for whatever reason, that is no longer valid information, right? So, with the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which is your rights as a consumer, put into this really, really big act so that you can know what can and cannot be done as far as credit reporting. Um, is just making sure that all the information is accurate. So, if there's no open account on it, there's grounds for dismissal without waiting the 2 years for it to just fall off. So, a lot of people just have a bunch of hard inquiries just sitting there and they're like, it's damaging because it's looking like you're risky. You're looking like you're a beggar at this point. They want to
Okay.
lend you things when you don't need it. They don't want to lend you things when you need it.
Okay.
So you want to make sure that you're getting yourself in a position where you're cleaning off your credit with small steps. And if you cannot figure out the bigger steps, then that's when you can go to some. But this is something that's so simple. I have a guide and it's a
Oh,
little ebook and it gives you the scripts to it. So it gives you the phone numbers, it gives you the email addresses, and it gives you the script that you say to them, and it gives you objections and everything. So just in case they say this or that, you'll know what to say and what to do.
okay.
You can dispute 10 items, 10 items on the phone, and then you'll have to like hang up and then call back and do 10 more if you have that many. But up
Mm.
to 10 per phone call. So, and we taking off that same day because it's not accurate. It's not reporting correctly, and that is your right as a consumer. So take it off.
So you saying you can dispute so maximum when you're on the phone call, we can
Yep.
dispute up to 10 hard inquiries and then you
Yep.
gotta hang up and then call again?
Yep.
Really? Okay.
Rinse and repeat.
So now this guy that you're talking about are you able to maybe like screen share what it looks like? Is that possible or anything like that? Or am I able to pop that up somehow?
Let me see.
Or if you got a link, um, let me see that I can drop right in chat. Oh, we got Miss Hamilton in the building. If you need your pictures done,
Hello,
go
Miss
with her.
Hamilton.
Huh? Her name
Say
is
hello, Miss
Caitlin
Hamilton.
Hamilton. What's going on? Hey, if you're not pregnant right now, you need to get pregnant ASAP so she can photograph you. That's how cold she is.
Already. Okay, I sent you the DIY credit repair and then you the 24-hour inquiry removal. Both of those are free. Because I'm a girl's girl or a person's person.
Dang. Miss
So
Austin, you
I
said your
got
credit
y'all.
score 794? God,
That's
dog.
awesome. That's awesome. But okay, before I say that, and Miss Austin, hey, I promise this is no shade to you at all. But I want the other people watching this to know that just because you have a high
Oh,
Not mean you have a score.
can you say that one more
You
time
can
for me, please?
still
You
get
froze up.
for things with a high credit score. Very empty. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. You
Okay,
froze up.
but oh, I'm sorry because I'm too cold. That's why. But no, even if you do have a high credit score, you can still get denied for things. A high credit score
Okay,
does
okay.
not equal automatic approvals. So you want to have a strong credit score. That is the key. And again, I'm not saying that your credit score is not strong. I just wanted that to be another thing I kind of just throw out there for people to know. So you can boost your score up, but if you're not adding like trade lines, if you're not getting like a secured card or unsecured card, if you're not adding those lines of credit, if you're not adding those revolving lines, you're gonna still look risky because they're wondering like, why don't you have some type of something?
Okay.
So there are some people that, of course, they'll approve you, with some things and stuff like that. But for the most part, you want to make sure you have that cushion, that foundation. Everything has to have a foundation. So credit age plays a big part in it. They look at that too, like how long have you been a consumer, how long have you been utilizing things. And so they look at stuff like that. They just want to know, are you are you able to take this money or whatever I'm giving you, and are you going to come back and pay me back? That's all they worry about. But so, that's why you'll get those first time renters have to pay double deposit because they're first time renters. They may have
Mm,
excellent credit score, they may have the financials to back it up, but because they're first time, I need to know that you're able to handle this, whatever I'm giving you. So, that still could be grounds for conditional approval, or just a denial stating like, hey, we need consistent revolving lines of credit or things like that. They'll tell you that though. They have to send
mm.
you an adverse action letter if you are denied for anything, so that's the reason why you were denied. And yeah.
Okay. She said, so I got multiple lines of credit. My student loans are still in deferment. So I was wondering if I should pay them off.
So student loans,
And my
if they
fault,
are in
Brittany. It
deferment,
says, so I'm gonna read the whole thing. My apologies for cutting you off. But she said, so
you good.
the whole message, I have multiple lines of credit. My student loans are still in deferment. So I was wondering if I should pay them off since they are my longest credit history.
So this is the tricky part about that.
Oh, we can't hear you. Hello, hello.
Want to My bad, you hear me?
Yeah, I didn't hear the first thing you said.
Okay, because yeah, somebody had started trying to call me. My bad. But yeah, it's like a catch-22 with that, because if you pay it off, you're gonna initially take a ding because you're gonna remove some of the age from your profile. So how you will combat that is, once you make that final payment, you need to see when they're gonna pay it off. I mean, or when they're gonna report that it's been paid off and closed. And then you want to throw on a trade line that has a good amount of length on it, so that you can kind of hit that cushion until your credit score rebalances after that big drop from having that long profile. But you do want to pay it off. You do not want to let that come out of deferment, and you start getting those late payments and things, because then it's going to go down.
Okay, she said the goal is to buy a multiple unit property in 2026.
Okay, so with that, um are you going to do this as a sole proprietor, as yourself, or are you going to do this with an LLC, because or LLP, or a S corp, C corp? Like, are you going to be doing this as a business or as just like a solo person? Because you can still have good strong personal credit, and you can kind of wait for that balance to, depending on how you pay off, what's your payoff rate, what you have going on. You kind of want to lay out what's going on with it. You want to say, okay, I have this goal to have multi-unit by 2026. Um, I want to have my student loans paid off by the end of 2025. I know that it's going to report January of 2026. So I need to be putting a trade line on it on December 2025, so that it's reporting at the same time and it's balancing that. Because you can use your personal credit if you are doing solo, and then, get those loans, those FHA loans, getting those construction loans to, um, acquire these properties and flip them. Or you can go to like the courthouse and get tax lien properties. You can look at like states with faster turnaround times, because some states it takes like 2 years to actually acquire the deed for the property, because they give them kind of like that probate period where they'll be able to come back and buy the property back and things like that, if they pay said taxes or whatever the reason for them being up at the auction anyway. But like places like Alabama, you can go and purchase a property, and in 30 days you can go to the courthouse if they haven't made that payment of whatever they owe. Take it to the courthouse and receive that deed. So you can go that route, or if you are doing the LLC under a trust, so you should have a holding company that has that trust account, which would then produce that LLC, so that you can get not only those tax benefits, but you want to make sure you're able to be structured properly, so when you do go and get that funding, you're able to, show that proper structure, and they can really give you whatever it is that you need for that, acquire acquisition of property or of land or of equipment or of whatever it is that you're trying to do. So looking at a USDA loan, yes, you want to be structured properly. You want to have a strong business plan. You want to have projections. You want to let them know where their money going, how it's being used properly. Having that strong business credit too, because you can establish business credit within 30 days of opening a business. There's a certain step that you could take to do that, and I can always show people how to do that, but it's fairly simple. And you can use that, and that is not like a one of those, crow violations. This is facts. This
Mm.
is hard cold facts. This is proven. I can actually get you established, because there's a lot of people say, oh, don't get a net 30 account. Oh, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that. Those people are scammers. I'm gonna just tell you the honest truth. They are scammers. They are literally going to sell you primary accounts and all these things like this that are falsified accounts to get you established credit, and it's going to backfire on you. So you do want to establish you a net 30 account. You want to build relationships with vendors, because that also gives you the freedom if you do decide you wanted to do like a truck driving company. Granger has industrial parts, so you would skip the middleman. You're able to utilize not having to pay them up front. You can just get all the parts you need, and to keep your business flowing where your money is going. And then you have 30 days, once you establish, you can pay it back in 30 days. Then they give you 60 days. So it start extending your line of credit with them. So you want to start utilizing those net 30 vendors, those net 60 vendors. And when you say net 30, 60, 90, when you hear that, that's just how many days you have to repay them back. So you want to establish those relationships with them, because when you go to the big traditional lenders, they're going to look at you and they're going to say, bravo, because you have literally shown and proven that you are able to take the little things and to keep it at so they don't look at you as a risk. They looking at you like, okay, this is a person who knows how to get it and flip it, and I can trust them with more. So let me give them more, because ultimately they earn money from the interest that they give you to loan you these things. So of course, if you're showing them that you can repay them back on time and you can keep your stuff up, they're gonna give you more if that's what you want, more. So if you are acquiring this property in 2026, you want this USDA loan, you need to be structured properly. You need to make sure that you're thinking about your repayment schedule, how that's going to work, and then you're going to lock it in, and you're going to say, okay, this is what needs to happen. You're going to go step by step, and that's how you're going to get your multi-property.
Hey, what you over there doing? Dropping them what? She
Look,
dropped
y'all,
the
I
little
am so
bomb.
tired. I'm literally tired because I have had like maybe 6 hours of sleep in the last 50 hours. But I wanted to show up today because this is really important. So I'm not in my best fit. I don't have my makeup done. I don't have my lashes done. I don't have my wig on. I took it off because I wanted to show up authentically me, and I wanted to really give y'all some real information to show you I'm a real person with real results and real knowledge, because it's so many people that claim that they're an expert at something, but they cannot give you any real guidance. They only want to show you their lifestyle and what they can acquire. They don't want to show you the hard nights, the days that you stay up, and the nights that you stay up, and the missed opportunities, and the tears, and the money that you're spending, and all of the things. They will never include any of that in the process. They will never tell you, how to utilize certain strategies. They don't want you to grow. They just want you to be a fan of theirs. I want you to be a success partner of mine. I want you to really take anything that I give you, even if you don't decide you want a mentorship with me, or you don't want to partner with me in any type of way. Just whenever you hit me across your waves, I want you to say, okay, I learned that, I take that, I received that, let me apply that, and then come back and be like, you know what, Brittany, you said something on live. I took it, I applied it to myself, and this is what happened. And I appreciate that more than anything, because I still feel like I was a part of your journey.
She said, hey, Miss Austin fun. She said that part. That part. What this mean right here again? What did you say that mean?
Clock it.
Clock. I don't know what that mean. All right. So
Hmm.
Brittany was explaining to me like she's really, really, really dope with taxes. That's you said that was your first love, right?
Yeah, that's my baby. Texas is
That's
my
her
baby.
baby, y'all. I was trying to figure out, do you have like links to your DIY credit repair thing and your 24-hour credit inquiry thing? Because
Yeah,
if you
I
could send me
sent
the
it to
link,
you on
head
Messenger.
Hunter hula who. I'm getting FaceTime call. Hey, I'm live. I don't know who this is. I'm scared to answer it.
Mm-mm.
I don't know who the head Hunter. I ain't finna answer that more. I'm scared. I probably okay.
Hollering.
I'm getting back to back hits. Okay, so
Hmm.
here's what we finna do. So, do you have landing pages that I can send someone to your credit repair, your 24-hour credit inquiry thing? That way they can just I can just slap it in the chat and then they can take advantage of that.
Yes, I will have to go in my go high level and get it from out of there. But yes, I do.
Okay, bet. Okay, so what I can do right now is I can at least take your link because it's already attached to the video. That way, maybe if they want to reach out to you or anyone wants to reach out to you, then maybe you can personally send it to them. So let
Yeah,
me
could do that.
put if y'all want to tap in with Brittany. So what we finna do is, if that's cool with you, Brittany, is
Uh-huh.
that let's go ahead and dive into taxes and stuff. I know you mentioned you're tired, so I want to try to make this look quicker. So explain to me about tax. You know, I've been negating taxes for what 74 years, man. I've been running away.
Okay. So a lot of people are scared of taxes, and they shouldn't be. Like, if you make at least $50,000 a year, you're typically seeing a lot of taxes being taken out of your checks.
Okay.
And you're like, I don't make that much money. Everybody's talking about inflation. And I kind of chuckle a little bit, and I'm not laughing at your pain, but it's like, do you even know what's on your W-4? Like, do you even know how to properly fill? That is the basis of
Nah, money.
taxes. It starts with the W-4. So when the job gives you the paper and they're like, this is a part of the onboarding paperwork, you fill out, your name, your address, and they have all the little numbers and stuff on there, and you're confused because you're like, oh my god, what you mean $200,000? What does that mean? What do you mean? you know
Mm,
so people start claiming dependents because they are under the impression that if I claim a lot of dependents, then I see more of my money during the year, which that is true. But if you don't truly have those dependents, and then you come and file your taxes at the beginning of the year, you're more than likely going to owe something, and you're going to be shooting yourself in the foot. So what you want to do is you want to sit down with somebody like myself and you want to go over your annual wage. You want to get it broken down. You want to talk about what your W-4 looks like, have it explained to you line by line what it means, and
Mhm.
then have it, resubmit it to the HR department so that you can be, having the right amount of taxes taken out. Because my biggest thing that I tell people is a refund is just the overpayment of taxes. So that
Mm.
means throughout the year you overpaid the government X amount of dollars. And you do not want to get comfortable with giving the government interest free money. You already have to pay sales taxes. You already got to pay property taxes. You already got to pay all the taxes. So, why would you want your federal income taxes that's coming out your check to be more than what needs to be just for the
Mm.
sake of at the beginning of the year getting a lump sum of a payment? But I'll do you one better, give you a strategy.
Okay,
So,
break it
for
down.
my high earners, if you're making at least $50,000 to $55,000 a year, if you're a single person, and if you have a dependent or two, if you're making over 100K, I need you to look up a Roth IRA. That is going to be a retirement account. That retirement account is going to get you tax free and penalty free money. So instead of giving the government this money, you're going to put it in this Roth. And the government gives you a limit to how much you can contribute each year before they cut it off and say, okay, but they reduce your taxable income or your taxable liability. So, you make X amount of dollars, you're taxed on X amount of dollars. But if you go and you get this Roth IRA, it takes it all the way down.
Mm.
So you could be making $50,000, right? And if you know that you don't have any children and you know that they're going to heavily tax you, go invest in this Roth IRA. Okay. So you can contribute up to $7,000 a year. And what they do is, since you contributed to that account, they're going to take that away. So now you would only be taxed on $43,000 instead of 50.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay, I'm
So
tracking. I'm
then you
tracking. I'm
have
tracking.
401k, right? You got 401k, you got a job, right? You making good money. Your job typically already is contributing a certain percentage, you're contributing a certain percentage. You want to go in and contribute a little extra on top of what you're already contributing. Because it's your holding account. You can borrow from it, but there will be a penalty if you don't meet the certain criteria. They do have for like disasters or emergencies where they will waive that penalty. But if you just want to take the money out to take the money out for whatever reason, they will incur a 10% penalty tax on that. And so you're having to pay taxes on that. And so they will give you a form at the end of the year or beginning of the year for taxes to let you be able to put that on there. So you have to file that. So that'll be more income to you. But with the 401k, if you're maxing it out on top of what they're already contributing, which is $23,500, that's also another additional taken away from. You know, they're giving you this option for the people who make a lot of money because they can afford to give you $23,500 and
Mm-hmm.
still have a pretty decent check annually. And so they're gonna take that and they're gonna use those papers and they're gonna reduce their taxable liability, and they're gonna keep more money in their pockets, and they're not gonna be out here loaning the government this interest-free money. Or if you're not comfortable with putting it into a said account, you can go to the government's website and purchase what's called a treasury bill. A treasury bill is you loaning the government money, but they pay you an interest back. So you could do increments of 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 16 weeks, all the way up into, you can stretch it out over years. But say they need $1,000. You can go and find a bid for $1,000, and they'll show you what percent they'll pay on it. And so you can kind of do the math to see if that's something that you're interested in, and then you loan them the money. And then at the end of whatever, however, the payment schedule is, they give you back whatever you invested plus your interest. And then they produce you with a document at the end of the year or beginning of the year. So that's another thing that you could use. Investing in the stock market. because capital gains and capital losses. Trump is now making it to where there's no tax on capital gains. Capital gains is literally just the money that you make on top of your initial investment. So I come into crypto, I put $100 in, it does 2x for the day, and now I'm leaving out with $2,000. So that 19, what I said, $100. So yeah, that $1,900 that I just made in profit is not taxed.
Hmm. Dang. Okay.
Go. You
She did
send
a
me a
damn.
paper at the end of the year, and it's just kind of it's where you put your money that you want to go. And even then, if you are not comfortable with that, get a high yield savings.
Hmm.
Get you a high yield savings and put your money into that savings. You want it to be about 4 to 5%, and you want to get it in there and just let it build that compound interest. Just let it build on top of each other. That's what you want. You want to look at things that make money. You don't want to get to the get rich quick schemes. You don't want to go straight for the
Mm.
income tax at the beginning of the year, because you're not benefiting off of it as much as you think you are, because it's really just your money back, but you're waiting a whole year to get your money back when you could be benefiting off of all the other things that are around you that you can do as a regular person. You don't have to have an LLC for none of this, because a lot of people think that the only reason or the only way you can benefit from the tax code is to have a business, and that is not true. It's
Hmm.
absolutely not true.
So why is
So
that
yeah.
not true then?
401k, you don't have to have a business for that. A Roth IRA, you don't have to have a business for that. The stock market, you don't have to have a business for that. Treasury bills, you don't have to have a business for that. None of those things that can lower your tax liability have nothing to do with a business.
God, dog. Okay. So for whoever's watching this, right? Let's say they feel like
Hmm.
this stuff is just way too complicated. You was talking to me. If you watch this replay, you gonna see me like, what did she say?
Yeah, like, and because that's what it is. Like, a lot of people look at taxes like Russian. They're like, what is this? And that's why they pay professionals to handle this for them. But it's like still the scammers. They're louder than the regular professionals. They're so, and a lot of people like sparkly shiny things. So they're like, "Oh,
Right.
they have a chain. Oh, they have a new car. Oh, I want that."
The shoulder. The shoulder.
I just it breaks my heart, but it doesn't stop me. It just gives me more ambition to keep on going, because you're gonna hear me. I'm gonna be a little bit louder. Because I need you to get on target. I need you to stop
Right.
with the pity party and the woe is me and get with the program. It's here for you. Use it. You want to know how the millionaires and billionaires don't pay taxes? This is how. Learn it. And if you don't want to
Mm.
learn it, get to somebody that does know it in the way that they should know it.
Mm.
Ask questions. That is the basis. Ask questions. As a client, ask questions.
Okay, so check this out. So for someone, let's say they listen to you, they went through you giving that game right like that, right? And they feel overwhelmed. So what do you suggest? You probably already said, but what do you suggest is the first thing they should do to feel more in control?
Well, to feel more in control, you want to be cognizant of when you're at a point that you don't know. You have to know when you don't know. And you have to be able to reach out and ask for help, so that you're not overwhelming yourself or just not doing your taxes or not messing with your credit at all and just going through life miserable because you're unable to really enjoy it in the way it's supposed to be enjoyed.
Mm, I like that. Okay, so what about I really do like that. What about for some of the people that's like, okay, I hear what you're saying, but I can do this a little bit later. So what happens with
I
those
tell
people that wait?
well, I'll tell you this. Just like I'm gonna say 2 years ago, when I really got heavy into my marketing on taxes, it was people that reached out to me that wanted to like work with me and stuff, and they just didn't follow through.
Uh-huh.
And so the following year they rolls around and they start seeing the payouts coming out and the trips and the dinners and things, and now they're like,
Like that.
okay. But so now look at what happened. You had the opportunity and you decided that I can get to it later. And so now later is here, and now it's just gonna keep on. It's just gonna be a continuing trend. I'm not saying just rush into things, but money loves speed, right? So you have to move with a certain amount of speed when it comes to hopping on things that you know is beneficial to you. You
Mm,
don't have to go for the fluff, but you want to make sure that you take action when you see a growth opportunity in your life.
okay.
Put it to you like this: you're gonna be 1 year older next year, regardless. You want to be 1 year older, still saying "I wish, I wish, I wish," or you want to be 1 year older, implementing and taking action.
Okay. I like that. And now one thing I can say is I know especially like with people feel like people don't want to be sold to, right? People don't want to be
Right.
sold to. So like what do you say to people that's like, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I'm just trying to get my thoughts together right now. Okay. 1 second. Let me just really get my thoughts together what I was about to say. I was about to say something, but I was like, wait a second. Huh. 1 second. My fault, Brittany.
You
All right.
good, but
Let me think. I'm listening. What you about to say? What you about to
look,
drop?
but because I feel like I know you was going with it, and it's like when people don't like to be sold to, and they feel like all of the buts. Do it yourself. I will give you all of the tools you need to do it yourself. I can either teach you how to do it or I can give you the free tools that I have and you do it yourself. And once you see how much work and effort that goes into it and how much time you don't have, then you start realizing, okay, I'm not paying for her service. I'm paying for my freedom. So you're in control of that.
Mm,
You're I'm doing you a service. I'm helping you out. I'm coming in and I'm taking some of that slack off your back. I'm saying to you, okay, you've had enough of this. You have other things to focus on. You're trying to get to here. So if you need to get here, I need to be taking what I can here and here so that your walk is lighter. Now, if you are a smart person, you would think that if you're going up a hill to go to this certain mountain of or this peak of excellence, then you're gonna want as less weight on you as possible. So as less things that you have on your plate is the more satisfying it will feel once you make it to the top.
I love that. So okay, what about people
Mhm.
that's like, all right, so I hear you. Maybe I do need some help and stuff like that. I've been burned, I've been scammed before. None of this stuff works. Why you think that is? Why should they trust maybe what you're saying?
Well, I mean, everything in life is a gamble. You never can be too sure. All I can say is ask questions, do your own research, have those necessary conversations, book that consult, have that one on one and see if you're having your questions answered in the consult. Then 9 times out of 10, you're going to have your questions answered further along in the process. It's just certain little indicators that you can kind of tell when somebody's pulling your leg, and they're just trying to hurry up and get you to make that payment versus someone that's more so take your time, ask all the questions you need. I'm here for you, being that point of contact, but also letting them know, like, hey, my time is valuable. If you're ready to move forward, we can move forward. But if not, here are some things that you can do in the meantime, or here are some things you can look at. You can follow my page for some tips that you can kind of try to do on your own. Whatever the case may be. But I'm not here to convince you that you need a better life. You know that you do.
Oh, I actually love your response because that goes into what I'm doing. There's a book that was recommended and I'm reading. It's called The Go Giver. So what I got from you is if someone's more in a rush, hurry up, pay me now. That's probably a red flag. But
Yeah.
someone is willing to give you some information, whether it's what a low price or it's free, and they're not rushing you, that you saying that can probably be a good sign right there.
Yeah, because you notice that the people who are willing to help you, they kind of straddle the fence when it comes to, and that's something that I have not an issue with, but that's something that I do. If somebody was to come to me and say, hey, I cannot afford your service right now, is there a way that we could do a payment arrangement where I can, give it to you how I can get it? Or, just talk to me, and I'm not saying just me, but people who are legit, if you just talk to them, you'll see the vast difference between somebody who's scamming you and somebody who really wants to help you, because there will be that almost I'm almost giving it to you anyway, but in a way that that I'm ready to watch you transform, but I also want to be that person who you let transform you.
Okay. These are my last two questions here. So, like, okay, I'm diving in a little bit more about you. So, what's a time where you like messed up? Like one of the biggest things you messed up on, and then how'd you overcome that?
So like in my crafts or like
Yeah, in your
with
craft.
business as a whole.
Let's just talk about your
Ooh,
craft. Let's stick with that. The face.
ooh, ooh. So Texas, my girl, my heart, my world. So a couple years ago, um, I gave some not so good advice. Went to a high that was
Oh,
pro-
look, we can't even hear it. We can't hear it.
you hear me?
Look, it didn't froze up. I say it wasn't meant to. I guess the story wasn't meant to be told. You freezing up. Nah. You
Yeah,
there? You
okay.
there?
But so no. Um, when you file a solo entrepreneur or LLC for a single member person, you are to file it on their personal 1040 because there is a differentiation between the two. Being that the business will have the EIN and personal and social, but when it's only just you as the business owner, you're supposed to file under your Schedule C, which is the business form that you file for an LLC for one person. You are supposed to put the EIN number in there, and I said that part one time on one of my making 150,000 a year, and it didn't go towards his annual tax clearance paper that you have to have in order to keep your LLC active. And it got inactive because of that, and I had to
Oh,
I owned up to it because that was the reason for it. It just kind of got forfeited because the paper had not been filed. So when we tried to get him into funding, they were like, the LLC isn't active, and so it just kind of prompted me to go down this whole rabbit hole. And I was like, so I did
mm,
pay for the reinstate. I did go in and amend the tax return correctly so that we can get that tax clearance from the comptroller. I did that for free because I messed up.
yeah.
I will own up. I will own up to what I did, and so if I messed
Oh,
up, I will fix my costly mistakes because that could have costed him so much more money. But I didn't want to do that to him. I really wanted to give him a chance to this, and I did let him know, like, I apologize that I wasn't on my game as I should have been, but that just gave me the fire to want to learn more, and so lock in deeper with my mentor. And so that was that. The second year, but the first year I was with my mentor.
wow. Oh my gosh, that's a story right there.
Hmm.
Oh we and
That's why
did
I
you?
know. I tell them with RB, is your LLC active? And they're like, what? Yes. When you get an LLC, a lot of people don't know you have to do certain things yearly to keep it. Will be forfeited. Like the state will go in and forfeit it for you, and you don't want to do that.
Oh
So
wow. Oh wow.
yeah,
Okay.
them reinstatement fees is steep.
It's something else.
It's steep. And then even with not filing the taxes, he could have gotten a penalty for that. So like he could have not only owed me, um tax. And so he would have that on top of the penalty. So you would look at owing $5,000. So like like it's a teachable moment, I feel like that's the thing I love the most about myself is that I always look teachable. I'm always looking for and implement,
That's that's it. You over there freezing up again. Hello, 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 hello. There we go. There we go. There we go. You a little bit better. You a little bit better. Look, this phone probably
Yeah.
need to be charged up. Okay, well, you brought up funding, and then we were talking about a testimonial. We're ending with that. All right. So when it comes to funding, can you drop a little bit of gems? I guess what to look for as far as how to get funded, and what are the requirements to even consider that?
So whether you have pork, you have a startup, whether you've been in business, you don't have the revenue, whatever the case may be, I have something that can get you funded. But there's a strict program that you must follow. I don't only utilize traditional lenders like SBA and Lendio and things like that. I do go for a CDFI, which is a community development financial institution. They help Black and Brown people, women, the LGBT community, any of those minority groups are often overlooked by those big lists. They do help. They don't really care too much about your credit score. They don't really care too much about you making 100K annually. They don't really care too much how long you've been in business. What they do care about is your story and what you are trying to do. And they want to help you as best they know how, but they need the full scope of what's going on. So I have a funding program where I meet you where you are and I take you to the next level. And it's so simple. So having that proper structure is important. Having a strong business plan, having those strong financial projections, just having everything mapped out because they can look at a map and see if it's going somewhere. So long as you have it
Oh
mapped
wow.
out, they're willing to help you out. So startups they do give out microloans up to $25,000 with very 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 low interest rates or none at all.
Hmm.
I actually got a call before we got on the call from one of my clients that they just got a call back for their $50,000 to get funded. So they're waiting,
Oh
and
wow.
once they so I can post it. But yeah, so I can get anybody funded, so it doesn't matter. But you to get your credit score strong, you do want to get that proper business bank account. You do want to get your paydex score together, which is your business credit score. You do want to make sure you have like your DUNS number and your insurance and your articles of formation, which is the certificate that they give you when you file it with the state. You want to make sure all of those things are in line, and once you have that in line, you're fundable, baby.
You
Fundable.
fundable, baby. That's what's up
Fundable.
right there. Okay, and my last thing is right here. Uh, question to you is like, what's a story that you helped somebody that doubted you? Like, do you have anything like that? Like, they doubted you,
Oh
helped you out.
yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh my God. So
What
look,
you get?
listen. So I typically feel like when you start off with business entrepreneurship, you should not look to your hometown as your target audience. I said that to say this
Oh,
next part.
oh wow.
I didn't brush them off. I always try to give back to them, but typically you don't really see much community in your hometown. For me, that was just my personal experience and
Did you say where you was
the
from, by the way?
I'm from Louisiana. Yes, but I live in Dallas, Texas now. So, being from Natchitoches, Louisiana, it's a little bitty itty bitty town. It's historical in all ways, but it is like a retirement home. That's where people go to retire. That's not somewhere where you just live a fully thriving life. In my personal opinion, it's a lot of crab in the bucket mentality. And so when I left, a lot of people were like, "Oh, she thinks she's better than us because she left," and that wasn't the case. I just wanted to leave so I can get further up ahead, so I can come back to my hometown and actually pour into it because I do want to go back to my hometown and buy apartment complexes and open parks and give the kids something to do and all the things, but I have to get to a certain point first, and I can't do that when people are pulling me back. So I didn't look to my hometown as my target audience because I knew that the support wouldn't be true support. So being that I've been marketing so diligently and showing up every day and being online, I did have somebody from back home reach out to me, and they had been scammed before, and then because they knew me, they were kind of finicky about that too. So they were like, I'll see, but if you can help me, cool. If not, cool. So, the girl was kind of hounding
Mm.
me a little bit. She was really just, like, I'm ready to file, but then she would never send me the paperwork. Like, it just was
Oh
like
wow.
and I just got to the point where I was frustrated because it's like I'm in the middle of peak season and I have hundreds of people messaging me on a daily. I'm running estimates. I'm doing so much. Just send the paperwork. If not, then like let's just stop having this conversation at this point because now it's getting
Mm.
old. We've been through this from January and it's now May and you still have not sent your paperwork because you're just trying
God,
to
dog.
still see like you're just still trying to see. But it's like what more proof do you need? But that's neither here nor there. So one day, she messages me and she said, I'm finally ready. I said, okay, well, go ahead and send over your paperwork. But in my head, you already said this like times, like, girl, whatever. So she go ahead and send the paperwork and then she instantly calls me. And she's like hounding me, like, did you look over it? What about it? Like, it was just so much. It's like she was like, had me under a microscope. It was like, I need to see everything you're doing. I'm like, I'm one of those upfront tax professionals that I do not submit anything without you looking at it 3 times. I'm gonna send it to you when I'm first done with it.
Dang, three
I
times.
gotta send it to you for you to sign it, and then I'm gonna send it to you after you signed it, so you have that. And so when it gets sent over to the IRS, I do provide you with the receipt from the IRS that says it's been accepted. So I'm letting you see everything. I'm talking to you through the process. I'm letting you know what I'm putting on there. What more do you want from me? You've already took me through 5 months of constant. I'm going. I'm not. I'm going. I'm not. I'm going. I'm not. And then it's like you finally give me the paperwork. Now you're hounding me, trying to make sure I'm being legit. And it's like it's not my fault you got scammed. It is my purpose to make you feel comfortable. But at this point, it's just kind of like okay, like what did I really, like I want to help you, but this is not it's not giving. So I ended up getting her paper submitted. We got everything done. I sent her everything. She was relieved. But then she started the whole, when am I getting my money? 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 And I'm like, I've already explained to you and I explained to all my clients. Once I submit the work, my hands are off of it. It's nothing that I can do. I don't personally work for the IRS. I am not there. I cannot accept anything. I cannot fund anything. I can only submit the paperwork to them properly and correctly. That's it. And
Mm-hmm.
so once I submitted her papers and she was just kind of trying to figure out where it was coming, I let her know too. Where's my refund doesn't always update. Your tax transcript doesn't always update, but they will still fund you. I've had clients who have not gotten an update on their transcript nor on where's my refund, and they woke up to money in their account. And like I have proof, so much proof of that. But I let her know. I was like, well, I can call, I can see what's going on, but I cannot push it through. It's nothing else that I could do. So this was like last month. She called me and she was like, I still haven't got my money. And so I was like, well,
Mm.
okay, let's call and see what's going on. So I have what's called a CAF number, which allows me to become sort of like a temporary power of attorney over my tax clients so that I can call the IRS on their behalf so they don't have to get those half-ass questions. I'm sorry. But they don't have
Nah,
to
you
get
good?
those answers, those half answers that, the regular 1040 line typically gives you.
Uh-huh.
I call the prepare line to try to like cut through all of that and get what I need because you tell the client, oh, you need to do this, this, and that, they're gonna come back with, misinformation. I want to hear from the source. So I
Mm.
called them with her on three-way. Even though I had permission to call without her on the phone, I like to let her hear what was going on, just to kind of keep my validity going.
Yeah.
And so they let her know you were funded on May 7th.
Huh.
You were funded on June 7th. And so she goes to her account. She was like, well, which account is it? Because I don't see it. And so I'm like, the account that you gave me was this. So I showed her the numbers that she gave me and I showed her the thing. She was like, oh, that's my Cash App. So she runs over to her Cash App. She checks her Cash App and lo and behold, the money's been sitting there. And she was like, oh, it said IRS Treasury. Oh, I didn't know. Okay, so then she moves on to say, well, I still haven't got my text from 2022. Somebody did some fraud stuff on it. That's why I was so finicky about it. She was like, so can you do me an amendment on it? Girl, Now you took me through all of that just to want me to. Now you want to be locked in with me forever because I. But you know what? It comes with the territory. Sometimes you have to convince people and do so in a way that doesn't devalue yourself. Like you know what you bring to the table, but you have to let them know. Like, look, do you not know how much jail time and how much money I would have to pay if I get caught up in any tax fraud? Like, no, ma'am. Cannot. And that's federal time. That is day for day. You're in there every single day that you are sentenced. I have a daughter. I have one daughter.
You can sing.
Yes.
Yeah, you do. And
No.
just the fact that you've been making time and dealing with these clients, that's absolutely incredible, Brittany. Yeah, you cold with it, y'all. So how can people find you? Like, how can everyone find you?
Facebook, Instagram. But no, you can find me on Facebook at Brittany Monique Hymes. You can find me on Instagram at $1 billion Brittany. You can email me at file with WPTC at gmail.com, or you can text me or call me at 214-433-4675.
I'll see through the number on there. Let's see if I can drop some of that information right here in chat too. I
Yes,
don't
you can
really
call
know. Like,
me.
call
You can
you.
call me. Yes, and I don't mind that. I will limit it to 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, because I don't want to take up too much of my time with, just dragging out a conversation. But if you need to talk and if you feel like you cannot write your situation down, you need to talk about it, call me. It's fine. You don't have to set. Well, you might want to set an appointment, but I mean, if you just call me, I'll try to answer because typically, I'll pick up the phone if I'm able to. But if not, I'll shoot you a text like, "Hey, this is Brittany. I missed your call. What's going on?" Or I'll just call you back whenever I'm done with whatever. But yeah, feel free to call, text, write. I have business hours, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't honor them. I will write me at 2 o'clock in the morning. If I'm up, I'm gonna respond. Like I'm not one of those weird people that are like, oh no, I'm gonna wait till 8 o'clock. I
Oh.
would have so much piled up on me at 8 o'clock. I couldn't do it. No. Mm-mm. So let's do it now.
All right. Hey, first of all, thank you so much, Brittany. Mrs. Was is it do I be saying your name right? Is it Hans or is it Hms?
Rhymes. It's like
Miss
rhymes without the R. Like Busta
Rhymes
Rhymes
without the
without the R.
R.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, appreciate you for dropping knowledge. Thank you for your time.
Of
Hope this
course,
was
of
valuable to
course.
people. Man, look, y'all tap in with Brittany. All right, y'all. We
See,
out.
I
We out. And
showed
thank
up
you
for
so much.
y'all in my bunion.
In the bonnet.
I showed up for y'all in my bonnet. See, that's just
Hey,
how much
but
I
that
carry
hair
myself
long
spiritually.
though. That hair long. Her hair. I forgot how long your hair is. How long?
Beautiful.
All right, y'all. That's everything right there. We out. We out. We out. We out. Peace. Let's run.